Honey, the girls is inside. Y'all know I usually be at Bulldogs or outside getting into the pieces, but I thought, why not, get into my own pieces sometimes? I feel like I never really got a chance to tell my story of how I moved to Atlanta or how it was and things like that. So this is my, intro to that. I got my tequila sunrise. I keep a sunrise, baby. And we finna get into the pieces. If you're enjoying the content, baby, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Because I keep it coming. Now, let's get right into it. Y'all know I'm JB Gotit. I'm from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Sometimes I say I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, but I only really say that because a lot of people not familiar with Murfreesboro, and Nashville just gives you like a better sense of the area. Nashville's only 30 minutes away from Murfreesboro. Like when I was coming up, I used to go out to Nashville all the time. So, baby, Nashville and Murfreesboro, they're like sisters. But I'm from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And that's where everything like really started for me with the music and everything. So everything had got to a point where I had dropped my song Lemon Lime. But before I had dropped my song Lemon Lime, I ended up taking a trip to Atlanta for Memorial Day weekend. And let me tell you, baby, that Memorial Day weekend Atlanta trip was life-changing, okay? The girls was outside, and baby, we was getting into the pieces before the pieces was even piecing. I mean, I had a time. And I ended up meeting this dude. Like, don't get me wrong. The girls was feeling the dude. Like, he was cool. We didn't really get into the pieces for real, but we did. We chilled a little bit, but it wasn't giving all that now. But no, the dude was cool, and, we talked, and I don't know, just everything about that trip just had me like, dang, I have to be out here. I have to be out here. I have to be out here. So fast forward, like the next week, I ended up dropping Lemon Lime. And let me tell y'all, if you know me for real, Lemon Lime is my anthem. Anybody that know me know that that's the song. When I dropped her, because at this point, I had like 10 songs out already. When I dropped Lemon Lime though, she was doing numbers, okay? I'm talking about 1,000 streams on Apple Music the first week. Baby, she was going up on Spotify. Let me tell you, it's hard to get a song to push on Spotify. Like Apple Music, okay. I got plenty of songs that do good on Apple Music, but Spotify, no. But Lemon Lime was taking it, okay? She was even blowing up on SoundCloud. So listen, Lemon Lime was doing her thing. But at this time in my life, I had a lot of followers because I was a troll. I used to be on Instagram acting a fool. I'm talking about running around in my drawers, doing all type of craziness, arguing with people, beefing with everybody. I mean, the girls didn't want no smoke with the girls, okay? Like, listen, I was that girl though. So it had came to a point where I was promoting Lemon Lime and I was trolling people, and I had got into it with these boys on Instagram Live, and I ended up posting something explicit. We're not going to talk about what I posted. Just know that I woke up the next morning and my Instagram account was deleted. Instagram saw what I posted, and baby, they was not happy. They took my page down immediately. Mind y'all, this was the first time my Instagram account had ever got deleted. And I was like at 30 some K followers. It was a big deal to me. So mind you, I'm panicking. I just dropped the fastest song I ever had to do all these numbers, and I lose my page before I even get a chance to drop the music video, because the music video was shot, okay? I linked up with my girl Shot by Sheikah. She shot the music video for me. It was real tea. Like, everything was lining up. So I made a new Instagram account, and it's actually the Instagram account that I have now. I've been having that page ever since then, but we're gonna get into that later. So I had a new account. I'm not gonna lie, I was still motivated to do my thing, but at the same time, I was hurt because I literally built that page up from 2017 to 2019. And I got it to that point and it was gone. So I really didn't know what to do, but I knew I had to keep going. Let me tell you, I was fed up with living in Tennessee. I was staying with my friend at the time, and it was cool staying at her house, but I'm like, I have more to do. Like, I feel like I wasn't getting anywhere. I was working at this warehouse. Let me tell you, I hate warehouse jobs, but that's where the money at. So that's where I was working at the time. And it was cool, but I ended up losing that job. And baby, once they called me and told me that I couldn't come back up there, that was my sign that I had to go. I had to go. So I got on my phone and I called down to Atlanta and I called the staffing company. Don't ask me what the name of the staffing company is, because I don't know. I called that staffing company, and asked them, like, what do I need to do to get a job here? They said, all you got to do is come with your ID and pass a drug test, and you can start tomorrow. Tomorrow? Baby, let me tell you, I had a 1997 Altima. Her name was Gotit. And baby, I packed her up with all my little things I had at that girl house, and I hit it. Mind you, I didn't leave that same day. I left the next day. I had to say my goodbyes, but I feel bad because I didn't get a chance to tell everybody goodbye that like cared about me, because I was just so ready to go and ready to, see what life had to offer over there. But yes, I woke up the next morning. I packed my things. I said my goodbyes, and I was on my way to Atlanta, baby. Let me tell you, I was hitting it. I was playing that Pink Friday all down the interstate. If you ever drove from Tennessee to Atlanta, you know how the mountains is, baby. I was swerving around them mountains, baby, bending the corners and everything. And I finally got to Atlanta. I got all the way down to the staffing company. It was cool. It was real straightforward. Like, I went in there. I had got some pee already, because y'all know the girls was getting into the pieces. But yeah, I had my pee, and I took the drug test, and I got the job. I was working at the Duracell battery warehouse in Fairburn. The shift was like from 7 to 3. So I'm like, okay, cool. So mind you, it's still early in the day. I'm like, okay, well, let me shoot to the city and see what's going on down here. Mind y'all, when I got to Atlanta, I was trying to hit up the dude that I met Memorial Day weekend, but he was not texting back. Honey, you know how the girls give it up. But I'm still a kitten at this point. Mind you, I'm only 21. So I'm like, okay, he not hit me up. I don't really know anybody out here. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just outside. So at this point, my phone dies. It's nighttime. My phone dies, and I have no idea where I'm going. I finally found my way to the interstate, and I'm just driving. And I don't know, somehow I ended up in Union City. I got to Union City. I parked at this little hotel, motel inn piece. If I could see it, I could tell you what the name of it was. But I parked at that hotel. I pulled my little seat back, and baby, I went to sleep because it was literally nothing else I could do. Like, everything else was closed. My phone was dead. So I had no choice but just to go to sleep and try to find somewhere to charge my phone up the next day. Okay, so boom, it's the next day. I got up, I went to work, and let me tell you, working there was not for the weak. They didn't even give me no gloves, and they had me opening boxes and stuff. When I tell y'all, my wrist had like all type of little cuts on it from the box. Like, no, that job was not it. But I was determined to make something happen, so I kept going. But anywho, when I got off from work, I ended up going to McDonald's to charge my phone. But I went to McDonald's to, charge my phone, give me something to eat. But I seen that they was hiring. So, this was back in the day, baby. They had paper applications. I did me a little paper application, and I got the job. And it was going to work out for me because I was going to work McDonald's 10 to 6, and then I was working at the Duracell from 7 to 3. So that was the plan. So mind y'all, okay, I'm doing it still. I'm still posting my stuff, working on music and all that, but I'm living in my car. So I ended up deciding that I was just going to park at the Walmart because it was a big parking lot. It was chill. It wasn't too much going on. And, I could be low key and sleep over there until I can, figure out what was going on. Let me tell y'all, my third day working at the Duracell, I was so tired, because I was working there and then I work at McDonald's at nighttime. But when I got off to go to bed, it was daytime. Like, I could not sleep, and it was hot. It was summer. So the third day that I went to go to Duracell, baby, I got to that break room a little early. I laid down. Well, I didn't lay down. I put my head down on the table and I had dozed off. And tell me, why didn't nobody wake me up? Nobody woke me up. So I'm literally just waking up. It's whole 9 a.m. Baby, the job is lost. So I just left and I paid it because I didn't like working there anyways. They didn't even give me the right supplies. So I was over it. So at this point, y'all, I'm just working at McDonald's now. And, so I did that for a while. Mind you, at this point, I'm starting to get into the city more. I ended up meeting some people that I knew from Instagram, and I was hanging out with them. Let me tell you, hanging out with them was not for the weak either, because they had me driving all the way from Union City to Stone Mountain, just to hang out and stuff like that. But baby, that drive That was like a lot of wear and tear on my little old car. Goldust couldn't handle all that, mind y'all. I'm surprised she made it from Tennessee down there. But, you know, I'm just trying to get into the pieces. Like, I ended up getting to perform somewhere. You know, Lemon Lime is doing her thing still. I'm still doing my videos, but don't nobody know that I'm living in my car. Also, you know, I had got me a membership at Planet Fitness so I could take showers and things like that. So, you know, the car thing was working. I ended up, you know, doing some reality TV with Corey Knott. I got to be on the Lit series. You know, mind you, I'm doing all this at the same time. I'm living in my car and don't nobody know. Because I had to go to work anyway. So after I was, you know, done playing outside with them, I come back home. Well, I come back to Union City, go to work, and, you know, do it like that. So that was working for a little minute until I ended up losing my Planet Fitness membership. Let me tell y'all, Planet Fitness is a scam. They hit the girls with that annual fee. I wasn't paying that. Baby, I barely had them McDonald's checks wasn't talking about nothing. I was not finna pay the annual fee. So I'm like, dang, I need to take a shower. So I ended up getting back in contact with the dude that I had met Memorial Day weekend. And he like, yeah, you can come to my house and take a shower. So he didn't stay that far from Union City, actually. So I drove to his house. You know, I got there. I had my, you know, my stuff, my little backpack. And I got there and like, you know, I was telling him like what was going on. He was like, dang, I can't believe that you've been staying in your car and all this and all that. And he was feeling for the girls and he ended up letting me stay over there with them. Mind y'all, like that was really the best thing that could have happened for me at the time, because not even like 5 days of me living there, I done wrecked the car. Baby, my baby was wrecked. I wrecked her, but it was kind of my fault at the same time because, baby, I drug her down to the ground. She needed maintenance bad. She needed new brakes and everything. I'm not going to hold y'all because, baby, the way that car crashed into my car, like, no, she wanted to get hit that day. But it was crazy. So listen, this was also around the time when I did the pool party video in Charlotte. Mind y'all, they booked me to come all the way to Charlotte for Charlotte Pride. I left my car at the McDonald's parking lot. I parked it at McDonald's and I caught the Greyhound all the way to Charlotte, went down there, performed and everything. Like when I say everything was going up for me, but at the same time, I'm living in my car and nobody knew it. I had never been in a car wreck before then. The girls was hurt. Like my leg wasn't broken, but cause she hit my driver's side door and like the door literally hit my leg. So I could not walk. Like I had to get in the ambulance. They took me to Wellstar in East Point. My car was totaled. She was done. But they wouldn't let me go get my stuff until after the police report and stuff was all done with that. So mind y'all, I'm at the boy house. No, like I cannot walk. I'm taking medicine. I got crutches. Like, it's like, what is going on? Mind y'all, I was just living in my car. So it's like, dang, now I gotta stay over here because I don't have nowhere else to go. Like, I don't have a car. This is when I started learning how to ride the train. Cause at this point, it was a bus that went from his house down to Union City so I could go to work. So I was just catching the bus, you know, going to work, catching the bus, doing it like that. But mind y'all, at the same time, the girls wasn't handling business at the house. Nobody was paying bills. We're just over there living life, you know, until one day I hear a loud knock at the door. Tell me why it's the marshals coming to evict us out the apartment. I mean, I had never experienced eviction. And they are knocking at this door trying to get, like, you know, inside. So I'm like, I didn't know it was the marshals at first. So I just hear the knocking. It sounded like the police though. So I'm just like, should I hide? Should I go to sleep? I said, I'm just gonna act like I'm asleep. So I'm laying down on the floor. I'm asleep. They bust in that room. They said, hey, you gotta come out. So I got up. I'm coming out. I'm trying to grab my stuff, but they like, no, don't worry about the stuff. Just get out. They are carrying everything out of this apartment and putting it on the streets. I'm like, oh my God. Because at this point, it's like a week before Atlanta Pride weekend. And I had a performance lined up to perform. This was my first time ever performing at Atlanta Black Pride. So this was my first Atlanta Black Pride and everything. I was looking forward to it, and I was getting ready for that. Mind y'all, instead of paying bills and helping, keep the house, I'm just worried about performing for Pride, and we done got evicted. So like, I don't know what to do. But my friend, he's very streetwise. So he got us a hotel room. We was staying at the hotel. Mind y'all, the hotel was way downtown Atlanta. I'm still catching the bus all the way from 5 Points down to Union City. We did that for a little minute. We was not at that hotel long because, baby, let me tell y'all, one day I was at work and I got a phone call. The police have called and said that we have to get out of that hotel. Mind y'all, the boy that I was friends with, he didn't work no job, okay? He got his money how he got his money. And the police and the hotel staff found out how he was getting that money. And baby, they put a cease and desist to that. And they sent the police up there and we got kicked out of the hotel. Mind y'all, I'm all the way in Union City. I don't have no car. It's like 2:00 in the morning. So I had to think quickly. I called up one of my friends that I had met. He didn't stay too far from Union City. I'm calling him, telling him what happened. So he come and get me and take me to the hotel to get my stuff, because they ended up just putting my stuff like behind the hotel counter, because I told them that I was coming from work and I would come to get my stuff. Just hold it and I'll be right there. So I came to the hotel, got my stuff. I ended up, hitting this girl up that I knew from Instagram, and she let me take some of my stuff over there to her house until, I could figure out what was going on. But she did put me on a time limit. She only let me keep it in there till Monday because I don't know why my little stuff couldn't sit in that closet till then, but I guess she didn't have time for the girl shenanigans. I mean, it is Atlanta. So, looking back, I see why, but girl, you could have let my stuff sit a little longer. But anywho, so at this point, I had two things. I had my crate and I had my suitcase. Like, over this whole time, like, mind y'all, I had everything that I had in my friend's house. I had so much stuff. Over like the whole course of moving to Atlanta to then, I had thrown away so much stuff. So all the stuff I had fitted in the crate and the suitcase. So I just put the crate in her house and I kept the suitcase because, I didn't know what I was finna do, but I needed the suitcase. So I had, stuff to keep my stuff. So mind you, I just got my friend to drop me off at 5 Points. I told him I was finna catch the train. He ain't asked me no questions. Whole time, I didn't know what I was finna do. I got to 5 Points and I'm like, I literally have nowhere to go. So I took that suitcase, and this is so crazy looking back. I took that suitcase. I went to this church around the corner from 5 Points. It was a yard. It was already homeless people over there and stuff like that. But it wasn't like a lot of them. I laid that suitcase down and I laid right on top of it. And I went to sleep. I went to sleep outside in the church parking lot. Like, do y'all not know how crazy? Not parking lot, the church yard. Do y'all not know how crazy and dangerous that is? As me as a kitten, I don't went to sleep in these folks' yard. So I'm like, dang, I done literally hit rock bottom. So the next day I woke up. I caught the train because at this point I'm just like, it's hot. When I tell y'all it's Atlanta, summer, baby, it's hot. It's scorching. So I got on the train and I'm like thinking like, okay, I have to call my mama at this point. Because I didn't really tell her, everything that was going on, but because I didn't really want her to worry about me. But at this point, I had to call home because I'm out of options. So I called my mom telling her what's going on. She called my uncle. She told me to call my uncle. My uncle ended up getting me a bus ticket, but the bus ticket wasn't for the next day because I had a show. It's crazy because I had another show that night. Like, when I tell you I was working, like everything as far as my career with the music and everything like that was working, but everything behind the scenes was like crashing down to the ground. But me, I gotta get into the pieces. I still did my show, but when I left the show, I'm like, I don't want to sleep outside again. The sleeping outside was crazy. I will never, listen, I don't do camping. I will never sleep outside again if it's up to me. Like, no, I just can't do that. So I ended up hitting this dude up on Jack, Girl, yes. We are getting into the pieces. I hit this boy up on Jack, and like I linked up with him so I could come over there and spend the night. Cause he lived like right around the corner from where my show was. Mind y'all, at this point, I'm still rocking these suitcase. I'm going all around Atlanta, everywhere that I went with this big ass suitcase. So I ended up going to the boy house with the suitcase. He let me put the suitcase in the closet. We chill, but I'm not gonna lie. Homie was kind of weird. He was kind of weird, but I paid it. We did get into a little piece, and I stayed the night. And the next day, we had got up because he was like a college student, I think, and because he had to go to class. Mind you, he didn't have a car either, and so we caught the bus together. But he got off somewhere different, and I got off to where I was going. So I just got on the train because at this point, I had to figure out a way to go get my stuff from the girl house because I have to catch the bus now. So I went and I ended up, going to the girl house. I found me a ride, but the ride was coming so last minute. Like, oh my God, Atlanta traffic is so bad. And like, it was getting so close to time, but I narrowly made it back to the train station to catch the mega bus. Cause I caught the mega bus home. But let me tell y'all, if anything couldn't get worse, I'm getting ready to get on the mega bus, right? Tell me why they talking about I have too much stuff and I can't bring all that. Only thing I can bring is the suitcase. Like, it's just getting crazy at this point. So I had to literally bust down the crate and see like what was worth getting out of there and what else I could just leave. And I just ended up leaving that crate right there at Civic Center, popped my suitcase in the thing, and I was on my way back to Tennessee. Literally, I lasted in Atlanta a whole 3 months and I had to move back home. But no shade, moving back to Tennessee was literally my best option because after everything that I had been through in Atlanta, I needed like a hard reset. When I got back to Tennessee, my phone was off. I had no money, no job, no nothing. Like literally, I was ass out. But I ended up getting me a job at Checkers. My bestie, she was a manager over there, so she ended up helping me get a job over there. And things were starting to pick back up a little bit. I got my phone cut back on. My music and everything like that was still doing good. But at this time, I started getting into TikTok. And I was posting, because I had so many videos from Instagram. Like, I had so many good videos from Instagram. I just started uploading my videos that had already did good on Instagram on TikTok. And they was going viral. Like, literally, I went from 0 followers to 100,000 in not very long at all. So I stayed in Tennessee for about 3 months. I started to get an apartment in Tennessee, but I did not get approved. And I feel like that was a sign because I didn't want to live there. Like, no, like I had already had a taste of what Atlanta could do for me and what it felt like being out there with the people. And I just couldn't see myself living in Tennessee anyways. So I got on Facebook Marketplace, y'all. And I found this rumor house on Cleveland Avenue. I'm not going to lie, y'all. I really thought it was a scam because I had got scammed. It was another rumor house that I tried to move in before. And I sent the money and the whole time it was a scam. But this time, I don't know. It felt like it was going to go through for me. But at the same time, I wasn't sure. But anywho, I sent the people my money. I had my fingers crossed. Whole time, I ain't even talked to nobody on the phone. I'm just texting these people, sending them money and all that. And they told me I could come and I could move in on December the 27th. So, I'm still working. I packed my things and I'm off again. But this time I had my suitcase, I had a blanket, pillow, and I had my light ring because I had got me a light ring for Christmas. Shout out to my Grammy. She got me that light ring. I actually still had that light ring. It's sitting over here. I tried to use it for this, but she wasn't acting right. She is a little older. But yes, I packed all my things up and I hopped on that Greyhound again. I got to the Greyhound station. My roommate from the rumor house had hit me up and told me that he would, pick me up from the Greyhound. I told him I was there. He took me to the house. Let me tell y'all, I got to the house. Like, I couldn't believe that I was actually getting to the house though. But let me tell you, the house was kind of crazy. The room was mad small. Mind you, They had me paying $650 for a room that's not even, I mean, it's a living room, like where I'm living at now, but it wasn't even half of this. Like when I tell y'all the room was so itty bitty, the window was small, the closet, but at the same time, it was a place that I could call my own. And I had shelter and I had, another chance. So I got to the room. It was nothing in the room. Like literally just carpet, closet, window. That's it. And my suitcase, my light ring, and my blanket and my pillow. I didn't really just immediately start telling everybody that I was back, but honey, the girls was back. But at the same time, I still didn't have no money. So the next day, my mama ended up sending me Walmart to Walmart, but I couldn't access it because at the time I only had a paper copy of my ID and they wasn't fooling with that. So not only was I broke, but I had to wait for, the things. Mind y'all, this is right in between. I moved December the 27th. So this is right after Christmas, right before New Year's. And it was cold. But I got up and I walked all the way down from Somerville all the way down to the Walmart in East Point looking for a job. I mean, I stopped at every business that I could. And I was applying to the job, applying to this job, applying to that job, applying to this job. But first job that I ended up getting was at Burger King. I used to work at the Burger King on Cleveland Avenue. Let me tell you, she's not for the weak. Okay? Listen, anybody that can work there, baby, they're built to last because that place was not no joke. But I ended up getting a job there and I got a job at Church's Chicken. So my schedule now is I was working 7 to 3 at Burger King. And then I would leave Burger King and work at Church's from 4 to 9. And, that worked out for me for a little bit because everything was in walking distance. So as soon as I got done working at Burger King, I'd walk to Church's and I'd be at home. I could eat like I was eating at Burger King in the morning and I was eating at Church's at night. And, taking chicken home. Listen, baby, we used to get down on that Church's chicken. But at the same time, I'm stacking my money. Like I'm able to pay my bills, barely able to pay my bills. Cause let me tell you, I was only making like $8 at both of them. But I was doing my thing. Like I had got to a point where I had enough money. I booked a studio session at this studio in the West End. And I was getting ready to, release a new song after everything I had been through. So that song was Freak Me. Freak Me, that was the first song I ever recorded in a real studio. And that song did a lot for me, but at the time, I really saw a lot more in it. I had it scheduled to release March the 13th, 2020. March the 13th, 2020. So as soon as, I'm getting ready to drop my song is dropping. The next couple days later, the pandemic just popped out of nowhere. So now at this point, I'm stuck in the house. But at the same time, like, mind y'all, I'm still a kitten. I don't know nothing about doing no scams, no fraud, no unemployment, no none of that. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not going to get homeless again. So when everybody else was just, living their life, buying this and buying that, PPP and etc. So mind you, I'm still working. Burger King ended up closing. So I'm just trying to figure out how I am going to survive. I didn't know nothing about no PPP, no unemployment, no none of that. Burger King had closed. So at this point, I'm only working at Church's. But at the same time, I did give me a little $600 unemployment check from Burger King, but I only got that one. Like I was still just, trying to make it do with what I had. Like, I'm trying to figure out why didn't nobody tell me that they was getting money like that? Do you not know how different my life would have played out if I had the streetwise sense of the unemployment and all that, baby? I worked through the whole pandemic. Cause let me tell you, Burger King had closed or whatever. I was working at Church's, but Church's wasn't doing it. I wasn't really making that much money from Church's or Burger King by itself, but just to have the Church's, it really wasn't doing it. But due to the pandemic or whatever, my landlord ended up, cutting our rent and stuff. Like, I think that he let us live free for like a couple of months, and then after that we had like a lower rent rate. Like I think I was only paying like $500 after that. Baby, the girls was struggling. I did ended up getting another morning job at McDonald's on Ponce, but at the same time I couldn't do the McDonald's and Ponce and work at churches, because trying to catch the bus to one job and then trying to catch the bus back to a whole nother job, that was just too much. It was easy when they was like right down the street from each other, but at this point it's like two different places. So I ended up letting churches go, and I was only working at McDonald's. And you know, McDonald's, she was paying a little bit more, just a tinch. I think I was making like what, $8.75. So I was still able to pay my bills and stuff like that, but it was like after bills, I really didn't have no money. I ended up finding me another job as a security officer. And baby, let me tell you, when they let the girls in that security job, that's where they messed up at. Because guess how much the security job was paying? $13. $13. Mind you, I'm from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I ain't never made no $13. The most I had made was like maybe 9, 10. But 13, baby, the girl, I thought I was balling. Mind you, they had me doing like this little Zoom class for training to get my security license and everything like that. Baby, things was looking up. And that was no joke, because even after I caught the train all the way to Art Center, caught the call bus to Cumberland, I still had a 30-minute walk to the job. Now, mind you, sometimes my supervisor or assistant supervisor did used to come pick me up from the bus stop. Love them for that. But other than that, that wasn't guaranteed. So I still had to walk in the rain, snow. It wasn't snowing, but you know what I mean. Baby, I had to walk in all conditions. In a suit. I mean, it was a suit. I had to wear this hot suit, necktie, all that. I had to do that every day for a long time. But at the same time, she was paying my bills. Once I got that security job, I was really straight. And they was paying every week. Like, at that point, I was good. I might not have had a car, and you know, I might have still been, you know, dealing with the pandemic and all that type of stuff. But baby, the girls was up. And I feel like that's really the end to my this part of my Atlanta origin story. Now, after the security job and all that, it does get a little wicked, but we're gonna touch on that on a different day. But basically, I just want to close this out and say, don't move to Atlanta with without no money. Listen, if you want to move somewhere, you need to save, and you need to have a plan. You need to already have a job lined up. You need to have somewhere to live. You need to have all that together. Because baby, let me tell you, trying to just figure it out just with a hope and a whim, girl, you will be stranded and you will be toe up bad. I'm telling you. But at the same time, I'm thankful for the way that I got here, because it taught me a lot. It taught me, you know, not to be too trusting of people, not to, you know, have to depend on everybody for this and that. You know, I really got it out the mud for me. Like, who else can say that they came from where I came from, did it, and still here? Like, I'm so thankful for everything that I've been through, because that really made me who I am today. And would I change any of it? Baby, a lot. But at the same time, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. If you made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you for listening. I'm really new to all this YouTube stuff, so these longer videos, they take a lot more than what I'm usually used to doing. But I don't know. I feel like I can do anything, and even though it's not easy, don't mean that it's not worth doing. And I thank y'all for, you know, taking a ride with the girls. But listen, I'm gonna do more of these too, because trust me, baby, I've been living in Atlanta a long time. Baby, I have a whole library of stories to tell, let me tell you. And we're gonna get into the pieces. If you're enjoying the content, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, because you know I keep it coming. But listen, honey, I gotta get off of here. I gotta get this edited and all that so we can get into the pieces, because I want to hear what y'all think about my story. It's crazy. I know, it's just so much craziness, but hey, you know, you live and you learn. But thank y'all, and listen, honey, I'm gonna call y'all back next time. Okay? Okay, baby.